Welcome on to our next video. Today we're talking about recovery for older athletes over the age of 50, 60 and 70. And we've spoken at length about recovery and how important it is for athletes across the board. But today we're going to be talking specifically for the aging athlete and whether or not recovery becomes more important the older you get. My name is Brad. I'm from CoachParry.com, where we help you become fitter, faster and stronger. And we're joined by our head coach, Parry, to talk all things masters running today. So make sure you stick around for that. Welcome back, Coach. Nice to touch base once again. And we're talking about recovery once again. We spoke about it a few weeks ago just in general and gave some great tips on what you can do to recover to the best of your ability. But as an older athlete, we've been working with a lot of athletes that are 50 years and older. Or as an athlete, as you get older, do you need more recovery than, say, someone in their 20s or 30s?
Yeah, that is an absolute definite. And the reason is quite simply because you are losing muscle. So as we get older, we lose muscle and it starts to really accelerate from the age of 50. And in post-menopausal women, it accelerates even faster. So as we become older than it does, it becomes really important that we do two things. Number one, that we allow our bodies to recover more, because with that less muscle, it means we have to do relatively more work because we've got fewer muscle fibers to do the same amount of work that we're used to doing. So that means our bodies are working harder, and because they work harder, they need more time to recover. So that in a nutshell is why it's so important that we allow for more recovery when we are getting older. And that means spacing out our hard running sessions or our high intensity intervals and our long runs even further apart. In some cases, perhaps only doing interval sessions once every 2 weeks and long runs once every 2 weeks, just to give you some examples of, it's not necessarily just that, okay, you must have 2 days before runs, for example. It's actually really starting to manipulate this whole idea of when to load and when not to load. And then not really part of recovery, but I just feel like it's always just so important to put in there when we're talking about the older runner, is that we need to do strength training so that we can, in the initial stages, hopefully reverse some of that atrophy. But over the long term, we just want to slow that atrophy down. And then particularly in postmenopausal women, taking in proteins within half an hour after exercise is actually critical to recovery, because the act of exercising accelerates that muscle atrophy even faster. And I know that doesn't make any sense, but it does, and it is a hormonal process. But if you take in protein, and in particular leucine, within 30 minutes after exercise, it stops that catabolism, and it actually stimulates your body to start repairing and using the proteins that you are then providing the body to build that muscle up. And the strength training does exactly the same thing. So really, really, really important. As we get older, we need more time to recover. It becomes much more important what we leave out than what we put in. And we need to help our bodies with some strength training, and particularly with post-training nutrition, protein within 30 minutes of exercise.
Talking of strength training, we have put together a strength training plan for over 50s runners. So if you're over 50 and you're looking for a strength training plan, you can click on the link that's on the screen now, or on the link that is with this video. You can download it for free, use it. It'll definitely help. Lindsay, let's just touch on what you leave out is almost as important as what you put in. And particularly as you get older, you talk about the recovery, and you spoke about sort of possibly even spacing intervals and sessions and long runs further apart. So maybe once every 2 weeks as opposed to every week. But also cutting back the frequency of running, and maybe instead of running 6 days a week, maybe it means only running 4 days a week to allow for more recovery. And you've got a great example that's really close to home, and that's your dad, who was a fantastic runner in his prime. I mean, he's a 2:20 marathoner at his best, and when he hit 50, he really just started slowing down, and you convinced him to cut back. He was a 7-day-a-weeker. You convinced him to cut back, and all of a sudden things started improving big time. Tell us a little bit about the importance of possibly cutting back. I know runners want to run, and a lot of people who've been running a long time want to run every single day, but it's not necessarily going to be to your benefit to do that as you get older.
No, and again, it's rooted in that issue that your muscles are atrophying. So now you need to do more or your muscles need to do more work to get you to do similar amounts of running. And I mean, you mentioned my dad, and when he was about 53, 54, I convinced him to cut back on his running. We cut him back to 4 days a week. And over the next 7 years, he got faster and faster and faster until his 60th, his birthday weekend, when he turned 60th, his 60th birthday weekend, we went and ran a race that had up until that point run 11 years in a row. And when he ran on his 60th birthday, he ran the same time he ran on his birthday weekend when he was 50 years old, 10 years ago. So over 7 years, he just got faster and faster and faster and faster. And admittedly, from that point in time, age has won the battle. We didn't get any faster after that, but we really haven't slowed down that much either. And he's still capable of running a sub 43-minute 10K and a sub 144 21K. So less is definitely more as we get older.
And he's not 60 anymore, Lindsay. Let's just say that he is 70. I mean, your dad's definitely faster than my dad.
Yeah. So in 10 years, he hasn't slowed down as much as you would think.
It's incredible. Lindsay, as always, great to catch up. Thanks for your time today.
Absolute pleasure.
Thanks for joining us on this video. Don't forget, if you don't want to miss any of these videos that we put out, hit the subscribe button over here. You can catch our latest video over here, and one of our most popular is over here. And also, if you want to shave 10 minutes off your PB, all you need to do is download our free strength training program. You can get that right here.